Have you ever asked yourself what really pulls you out of bed each morning? Not the alarm blaring in your ear or the routine of brushing your teeth and rushing off to your to-do list, but that silent, unseen purpose that stirs your soul before dawn breaks. Even Napoleon Hill reminded us that desire is the starting point of all achievement, and that same spark lives in you before your feet hit the floor. Most people wake up because they have to wake up, point blank, their bodies climbing out from under the covers while their spirits stay curled in the comfort of sleep and their minds drift in the fog of yesterday's thoughts. Days roll into weeks and months and years slip by like smoke in the wind, colorless, directionless, devoid of real life. But what if your life is calling you to something greater, and the way you greet the morning holds the key to every prayer you've ever whispered? Peace, clarity, abundance, transformation. Those miracles don't wait for the world around you to change, they begin the moment you change the way you start your day. Waking with purpose isn't about setting an earlier alarm, it's about waking with awareness. It's realizing that your first thought can spark a wildfire of faith or bury you under an avalanche of doubt, and that choice belongs to you. We live in a time where our phones cradle us to sleep and yank us awake into a storm of notifications, messages, headlines before we even remember who we are. How can clarity find you when your morning begins in chaos? If you stay locked on autopilot, life will serve you autopilot results. Nothing ever blossoms without intent. True awakening is more than cracking your eyelids, it's opening your mind and your heart, a brave declaration that today you will forge your path rather than follow the path carved by everyone else. You want change? Then change how you enter each day. God did not shape you just to stumble through Mondays wishing for Friday. He made you to live every day with meaning, even the ordinary ones, and that demands a daily covenant with your soul. This sacred encounter lives in the stillness of dawn, before a single task demands your attention, before the world has a chance to distract you. Here, in the quiet, God's voice is clearest, His whisper reminds you who you are, who you can become, and what wonders He has prepared for you. In that silence, clarity is born. The Holy Spirit does not shout, He breathes a soft word you only hear when you hush the world around you to listen. Will you answer that call? Everyone yearns for transformation, but few are willing to rise early to pursue it. It's not about heroic effort, it's about a simple, honest step. Rise with intention, sit in silence, inhale deeply, and tell yourself, today I choose presence. If you hunger for a new life, begin with a new beginning, and that beginning lives in the first hour of your day, when the world still sleeps and the heavens beckon, arise. Isaiah spoke of this when he wrote, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." This is more than a pretty line, it's a spiritual summons to stop crawling and start shining, to step out from behind your excuses and seize your life with the steadfast courage that only faith can fuel. If you are awake to this truth, write in the comments, "I am waking to my mission." You want to change your life? Then start by winning your morning. Extraordinary lives aren't built in the swirl of midday chaos but in the silence before the world stirs. When you take control of your awakening instead of letting notifications grab you, you forge a path toward purpose. You can meditate, pray, breathe, journal, read a verse or a page that feeds your spirit, anything that plants seeds of intention in this sacred chamber of dawn. You don't need 3 hours. Start with 30 minutes. What matters is not how long you sit but the intent you bring. Imagine closing your eyes for 5 minutes, giving yourself to the hush, breathing in peace, and noticing how loudly your mind screams before it learns to settle. Then speak aloud with conviction who you are, not who others say you are, but who God declares you to be. I am capable, I am chosen, I am guided, I am growing. These affirmations aren't magic, they're seeds that flourish with repeated faith and action. Next, see with your mind's eye not as an escape but as a declaration of faith, a version of yourself making wise choices, speaking with calm confidence, standing firm in adversity. Picture what God sees when He looks at you, a son or daughter brimming with power, purpose, and courage. Then read a verse, washing your soul in eternal truth rather than disposable distraction, so you stand apart from the crowd that feeds on gossip and fear. Writing is your next step. Pour your deepest thoughts onto the page, record your goals, your gratitude, the insights God gives you in solitude. This simple act clears the mind, calms the chaos, and strengthens the spirit. Finally, move your body, stretch, walk, do a brief exercise to honor the temple you inhabit and say, I value my life enough to care for it. This sequence, silence, affirmation, visualization, reading, writing, movement, may seem too simple to matter, yet it wields astonishing power because it reminds you, day after day, that you are in control, that your mind can be shaped, your energy lifted, your faith renewed. Remember that even Jesus sought the dawn's solitude. Mark tells us that very early, while it was still dark, He rose and went to a solitary place to pray. If the Son of God needed the eyes to hear the Father, who are we to ignore this call? Waking early isn't about productivity, it's about presence. It's about listening before reacting, praying before deciding, being before doing. Our greatest enemy is not a lack of time but a lack of direction. We are too busy and yet too empty, and the healing always begins at sunrise. You don't have to be perfect or practice this every single day at first. All you must do is decide to start, to build this daily altar of devotion, to prime your mind and heart for a life of truth. When you connect with God before you connect with the world, everything changes. You choose your words, your actions, your path. This morning choice becomes the seed for all your harvests, peace, wisdom, faith. Yes, it will require effort. At first you will fight the warm embrace of the duvet. But soon the ritual becomes a gift because you will see the fruits of your decision unfolding in real time. And here lies the greatest secret, it's not the minutes you invest, it's the spirit you bring. Even 10 minutes, when offered with sincerity and faith, invites God to move and everything shifts. If you're ready to claim this promise, write in the comments, I live the miracle of morning. Picture your life transformed by clarity, energy, and purpose, living not in haste but in focus, not in anxiety but in direction, unshaken by chaos because you have found order within. This is the reality of those who decide to meet God at dawn. They don't rush into tasks, they suit up in invisible armor, radiating light not for vanity but because they carry divine purpose. This transformation didn't happen overnight, it grew from a silent pledge to nurture the soul each morning. You can be this person too. If you've made it this far, God is calling you to rise, to rebuild your story with discipline and faith, using each sunrise as a daily altar for renewal, a launching pad for destiny. When you do this, the world around you responds in kind. Doors open, solutions appear, and opportunities flow that once seemed unreachable. It's not magic, it's alignment. You live your day with more peace because you have aligned with God. You make better decisions because you cleared your mind before the clamor. You find answers where once you saw only problems because your spirit is tuned to truth. As Psalm 118 declares, this is the day the Lord has made, let us rejoice and be glad in it. Today is not a someday. It's now. The joy, the change, the focus, the faith, all come the moment you choose intention over inertia. The miracle you crave won't fall from heaven as a stroke of luck. It begins when you reshape your awakening, dedicate those first moments to yourself, to God, to your growth, and declare to the spiritual realm, I am ready to live out what God has written for me. So tomorrow, when your alarm rings, remember you have a choice, remain trapped in the same cycles, dragging yourself through the days, or rise with purpose, silence the noise, pray, affirm, visualize, write, move, and craft with your own hands the life you were born to live. This isn't about waking early for show, it's about waking before life sweeps you away, making your morning the gateway to your destiny. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to begin with truth, and truth will set you free. When you wake to it, no day can master you, for you have become the author of your own routine, and your routine is the frame of your future. If you believe in the power of transforming your life one morning at a time, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment saying, "I am living the miracle of morning." Let's rise together.